On Larry King Now, the one and only Nick Cannon. What drives you, Nick? Why do you do so many things?
Ultimately, my community. And when I say community, I don't mean my immediate community. I say, my culture and what I represent of knowing the people that have come before me.
You think I could do well on Wild 'N Out?
Of course.
Okay, I'm volunteering.
There it is, y'all heard it. He's on Wild 'N Out, we getting it in.
You have twins, right?
Yes.
Are they lucky to be Nick Cannon's kids or not lucky?
They're probably more lucky to be Mariah Carey's kids.
Plus.
I think Donald Trump is the master of distractions. That's what he does very well, and that's why he's convinced a lot of his sheep to follow him.
All next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now. Today we welcome back one of the hardest working people in Hollywood and one of my favorite guests, Nick Cannon. He's an actor, producer, musician, TV executive, creator, host, comedian, philanthropist, father. He's everything. He's currently embarked on the Wild 'N Out National Tour.
Yeah.
And on August 17th, the 12th season of Wild 'N Out premieres on MTV. What's with the garb, with the hat?
Well, it's my crown, Mr. King.
Your crown.
From one king to another.
You with a suit and a tie.
I think last time I was here, I didn't have on the turban.
I don't think so. And we did a thing in the theater once.
Oh yeah, now that was definitely suited and booted for that. I mean, it's different vibes, but ultimately, I've always, in a spiritual and cultural sense, represented like my sovereignty, and it's just an expression that, and it's kind of almost turned into like this fashion thing where now people expect me to have it, but I don't do it all the time. Like when I was hosting America's Got Talent, it almost became an issue sometimes because I would have it on sometimes, or sometimes I wouldn't.
What do you call that?
I mean, a Death Star, a turban, a crown, a fez. Like there's names for it everywhere, but I call it my crown.
Okay, we'll get to Wild 'N Out in a few. It was just announced you're going to host a new reality music competition series for Fox.
Yeah.
Called The Masked Singer.
Yeah, I wear the turban on that too.
How does that work? What are we going to see?
It's interesting. It's a global format. It's been like a huge hit. It's like the #1 show in South Korea, a couple of other Eastern
So what do
platforms.
we see, masked singers?
Yeah, it's a little bit of Dancing with the Stars, a little bit of The Voice, a little bit, they say it's not a who done it, it's a who sung it. So you get all of these celebrities, you'd be great on this show, Larry.
And they're wearing masks?
And they're wearing masks, and a lot of celebrities have hidden talents, and sometimes like we had, I believe it's over like 16 Emmy nominees, 30 Grammy nominees, like all people that A-list celebrities, but they're all hidden behind these masks.
Wow.
And you have to, there's a panel of judges or investigators.
Guessing who they are?
Yeah, guessing who they are while they're singing, and it's still a singing competition. So I think people are really going, the costumes are so elaborate, the idea is so crazy.
How many have you taped?
We did pretty much the whole first season. So
when does it start?
Begins to air on Fox in January.
That sounds terrific. It must have been a lot of fun to do.
Absolutely. I mean, we had a great panel as well. Everyone from Robin Thicke, Jenny McCarthy, Nicole Scherzinger, Ken Jeong. Like it was a fun bunch. So I think people are really going to gravitate.
So I could go on with a mask and sing.
You should. Don't give it away right now because then everybody would know. But if they call, because I know you got a good singing voice, that might work out for you.
What drives you, Nick? Why do you do so many things?
There's a few things that drive me. Ultimately, my community. And when I say community, I don't mean my immediate community. I say, my culture and what I represent of knowing the people that have come before me and blaze trails so that I can be the creative that I am.
You're talking about the black...
the black community, the indigenous community, the community, the ones, growing up in government housing and a lower income, like... The
left outs.
Yeah, knowing, I was always told I wouldn't be able to do something. I heard no all my life, and the fact that I have the ability to not only provide for myself, but give others the opportunity and show them all the endless possibilities, that drives me. And then ultimately, like, when I was diagnosed with lupus in 2012, I got a new lease on life, just the idea and the approach, because I felt like this is something I could fight through and show people that it's not gonna break me, and I'm gonna live life in a way that if tomorrow wasn't promised, I'm gonna get all of it.
Does lupus knock you out?
It can. It hasn't for me in a while. I mean, I think the last time I had a flare-up was probably 2016. But you have to be strong. It makes you stronger, you know, each and every day.
You still have it?
I don't claim it, but I'm pretty sure, you know, like I go to the doctor monthly and have to get tests, and I still take, you know, a few pills, not as many as I had to take, but, you know, I'm trying to fight it.
What keeps you wanting to make Wild 'N Out year after year? It's been called a hip-hop version of Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Right.
How many years has it been on?
Man, I started in 2004. And
why do you keep doing it? You do so many other things.
I have so much fun with it. It's fun. I got to get you on there. I think I think you wilding and freestyling will be hot. But I think
I'm gonna rap with you.
Yeah, and you can do it. It's for the culture ultimately. I get an opportunity early on. I got to provide a platform for my friends that a lot of people didn't know, like Kevin Hart, Cat Williams, Afion Crockett, Mikey Day. All of these people now are successful comedians doing amazing things. And now I have this new generation of these digital comedians or these online artists that we find, and they're doing the same thing that we did a decade ago, but now with a whole new spin. So to keep it vibrating, current, and that youth culture, I keep my finger on the pulse of it. So I do it because of that, but ultimately I do it because it's fun. I have a blast. We got the Wild 'N Out girls, we got jokes, we got hip-hop music.
Where do you tape them? Where do you do them?
Right now we filming in Atlanta. Season 12 is in Atlanta.
What has improv taught you about life?
Improv taught me how to be quick on my feet, how to be witty, be prepared for, stay ready so you never have to get ready, Larry.
12 years it's been on.
Yes, yes.
Is there a single moment? Was there one show that just blew you away?
It's a couple of them. I would say the Kanye episodes are always good. And, you know, because it was interesting, we started, you know, me and Kanye kind of came up together. So it was early in Kanye's career, then he came back a few seasons. So those were always fun. That and probably the Snoop Dogg episodes, those always snick at.
What can we look for in the upcoming season? Chance the Rapper.
Chance the Rapper, who's become like his
son's name.
Yeah, oh, that's an awesome name.
Great name.
Yeah, Chance has kind of become like this generation's Kanye. He's from Chicago. He represents the community, doing some amazing things. And he always tells me he grew up on this show. It's his favorite show. He says his Wild 'N Out Comedy Championship belt are just as important as his Grammys.
You think I could do well on Wild 'N Out?
Of course.
Okay, I'm volunteering.
There it is. Y'all heard it. He's on Wild 'N Out. We getting it in.
After the break, Nick Cannon on fatherhood, new music, and maybe a little politics.
Yeah.
Wild 'N Out returns to MTV on August 17th. Stay with us on this edition of Larry King Now.
This is what's about to happen. It's a one-on-one roast battle, and to make sure it's a fair fight, we got our own referee. Man, make some noise, man. Each team member is gonna get the opportunity to come up and say whatever they want about their opponent, roast them in whatever kind of way, and if it's whack, what's gonna happen?
Oh!
God damn!
You get up here. Nicholas, you get up here. I'm finna bake his ass, though. Let me get this one, yo.
Don't understand his name!
Buster, ready?
Ready.
Chance the Rapper, you're ready? Ready. By the roof.
Boy, if you don't get your goddamn, I made these jeans from scratch, Paddington Bear Patch looking ass up out of here.
Uh-oh.
Bakey's ass.
Uh-oh. Skinny crackhead with dreads looking ass, boy. Nah, I really gotta bake your ass. If you don't take them braids out, you're not gonna be able to write no more seasons. Headache head ass, boy. Little chain head ass, boy. One earring wearing ass, boy. Little teeth nose ass, boy. Dorito toes nose ass, boy. He's
That was a clip from Wild 'N Out, premiering August 17th on MTV.
Absolutely.
Is there something you're dying to do you haven't done?
That I haven't done?
Do you want to host a talk show?
I've done that before, but I probably would want to expand in that field. I think, you know, I'm kind of built for that. So I think as the career progresses, you'll probably see me do a lot of that. You know, I'm currently enrolled in college right now, though. I go to Howard University.
Great school in Washington.
Yeah, so I go there every week. My goal
What are you
is
majoring in?
I have a double major, Larry. Yeah, I'm doing criminology in the School of Sociology, obviously, and then strategic legal and management in the School of Communication.
What do you want to do with that?
Ultimately, the criminal justice system. We often complain about it. We often, hear the rhetoric, but I really wanted to understand it. And
It's a lot racist.
yeah, I mean, ultimately, even when you understand what criminology is, it's really just the study of African American men. So, and how they've been criminalized and how we need to decriminalize them. So, in that theory, I don't want to just be another celebrity just talking and having an opinion. I want to really study it and become an expert on it. And I've been teaching courses inside the prison. I was in the DC jail, the juvenile system here in California through the Inside Out program. So I'm an official facilitator through Howard University, and I go in and we have curriculum. We talk about everything from spoken word poetry to the issues going on in the community. So things like that. It was like, I would love to be a professor. Dr. Cannon, that's the goal.
You always give back.
I try.
You have twins, right?
Yes.
Are they lucky to be Nick Cannon's kids or not lucky?
They're probably more lucky to be Mariah Carey's kids. I think they're lucky in the sense that they have a strong understanding of what's going on. And I think that's what I help provide.
Not spoiled?
Not spoiled. Well, they're definitely spoiled, but they're honest in that sense of that they know what's going on and they understand that they're privileged, especially considering how they have, like every Thanksgiving, I make sure that we go to the LA mission and feed the homeless. They understand that it's work and effort that their parents are where they are today and that they have to apply those same principles. And they're genius kids, so that's why they're lucky. They're not dumb.
And you and Mariah are lucky that you can be apart but
100%.
be friends and be good
100%.
parents, right?
Close friends, yeah.
You have anyone special in your life now?
Not on that level,
No.
Larry. Nah, I mean, I'm not looking though. I feel like I'm gonna be single for the rest of my life.
It ain't bad, is it?
Not at all. Why? I don't understand why people so rushed to tie themselves to another individual.
All right, Nick's funniest fan encounter, the best and worst advice he's ever received, and a current comedian he can't get enough of. It's a round of If You Only Knew on Larry King Now next. The Masked Singer starts in January on Fox. The host is Nick Cannon. It sounds like it's going to be terrific, and I may even... Sure. Keep it up. And he's in this 12th season of Wild and Out.
Yeah.
On the national tour for it. It premieres August 17th on MTV.
Coming to a city near you.
A city near you.
Yes.
We know you're outspoken. What do you make of what's going on in America?
Oh man, I mean, I always tell you it's an illusion. I feel like there's so many distractions. I love the discourse. I love that it's a time where everyone has an opinion and everybody's talking about it. So I think that's healthy. But when we want to get down to the core, I mean, it's a monetary society and it's always been that way.
What do you make of the president, LeBron, who I know very well, and Don Lemon, who I worked with at CNN?
Yeah. It's unfortunate. Again, it's an illusion. It's a distraction. I think Donald Trump is the master of distractions. That's what he does very well, and that's why he's convinced a lot of his sheep to follow him in a way, because he says things very loud and boisterous, and that's what people think they want. But ultimately, there's so many things that are being decided and unveiled in a whole nother, like he's a great mascot. He's a great mouthpiece for what his America represents. And to be able to say foolish things, like, or even take the time out of your day to discuss, LeBron James and all the amazing and positive things this young man has accomplished, but to just tear away at his character for no reason. Like, that's elementary stuff. And it's unfortunate, but I think he's doing his job in the way that the people who support him are very happy.
Must drive you a little nuts.
I don't pay attention to it's truly, I look at it as the Matrix.
Really?
Yeah, like it's a distraction. Like, it's comical in a sense
but
that
it's your country.
Yeah, he's trying to rile people up in a way that it makes us not pay attention to the matter at hand. The matter at hand,
Divert.
that there's been unclean water in Flint, Michigan for over 4 years.
Diversion.
Yeah, definitely. So he'll say something loud on Twitter. He uses Twitter better than anyone has ever used Twitter in the world because he controls people's emotions. And when you have a leader that knows how to control emotions, whether good or bad, he's doing his job.
2 years ago on this show, you mentioned you're still looking for a presidential candidate who represented you and your community.
Facts.
Have you found one?
We have yet to find one.
Don't see any in all these Democrats. And
Nah, to me, you know.
what about Mr. Booker?
Fine individual, had the opportunity of meeting and speaking a few times. Again, there is no democracy, and it's all about money. And again, I know the system. I'm in the system, so I have to operate within it. But if I could, I would redesign the entire thing. Politics in itself is just, it's something that divides. The purpose of it is to divide. I mean, W.E.B. Du Bois said it the best. It's like, there's no such thing as two parties, just one evil party with two names. And when you think that the Democrats have so many issues and so many things that they hide and cover up, and it becomes this point the finger game at who's the worst. Like I always say, you get to pick out which gun you want to get shot with.
But frankly, the Democrats represent more of what you stand for. You know that, don't
Yeah,
they?
I mean, if Democrats, or you want to say a liberal mentality.
Yeah.
But even I'm more of an extreme liberalist. I believe the way that we've been governed and the way that this system is set up is designed for all of us to be controlled, and it's a failure specific.
What about the progressive movement?
Yeah, that's probably the closest thing, you know what I mean? But in the idea of when you say progressive isn't to be sovereign and self-governed and we make our own decisions and we accept everyone, like that's what I would love to represent.
That's utopian.
Yeah, but I mean, is it realistic?
Not bad.
Who knows?
We play a little game of If You Only Knew.
It's kind of like a Wild 'N Out game.
Yeah, strangest fan encounter.
Yeah, I would say this morning at the gym, you can always have crazy fan encounters at the gym. But I would say one time when I was younger, when I was on the young heartthrob thing, a young lady was in my hotel room in the closet, and her mother, who worked at the hotel, set it up for her to be able to be in my room, and she just popped out and scared the living daylights out of me. Yeah, that was probably the strangest one.
Did you do anything?
I knew that was gonna be the follow-up question. No, I mean,
Okay.
I called security.
Best piece of advice you ever got?
Best piece of advice. Take no one's advice.
Worst piece of advice you ever got?
Invest in Bitcoin.
Place we'd find you on a day off.
The studio, in front of the piano.
You play?
Yeah.
First car you ever drove?
Legally?
One you didn't steal in San Diego.
Yeah, I was about to say. I would probably, my first car, I used to work in a mechanic shop. That's kind of how I would pay my way to get to Los Angeles. And I would do auto detailing, change oil, brakes, those type of things. And it was at a foreign Maserati dealership. And there was a Porsche and a Maserati, like super old and run down. And I fixed the Porsche on my own. And that was probably the first car that I called mine and had the ability to drive.
Wow, good story.
Yeah.
First non-Hollywood job?
Before working at the mechanic shop, I had a job, a legitimate job at Wiener Schnitzel. Where,
Really?
Yeah, that was my first, and probably
Making frankfurters?
Yeah, and working the drive-through and making hot dogs, having
Were
to
you
wear the
good?
corny hat. No, I got fired immediately because I was making jokes in the drive-through.
Biggest regret?
I know it sounds cliche, but I don't really have any regrets. I'll wake up with everything I'm faced with, I accept it. So everything that I've done, I'm responsible for my actions.
Comedian you can't get enough of?
Kevin Hart, I hate him, but I love him at the same time.
Something your children do that always makes you laugh?
Curse.
They curse?
Yeah, and it's hilarious to me.
What's the longest period of time you've ever been awake?
Ooh. I'll probably say at least 3 days.
Really?
Yeah, no cocaine involved whatsoever.
What?
I'm one of those people who don't sleep, and if I'm traveling and moving, I've definitely stayed up for 72 hours before.
If you could eat only one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm not a food guy, Larry.
You're not?
Nah.
How about Venusness?
Yeah, exactly. Nah, I'd probably say candy. Any type of candy. Like, I'm a candy crackhead.
Is there a current politician you'd like to take to lunch?
Donald Trump. I'll take Donald Trump to lunch.
Take him.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about.
Guilty pleasure.
Besides women? Nah, women. We just gonna go with women.
Biggest splurge.
Biggest splurge ever? My diamond shoes.
What?
For America's Got Talent, when the prize was $1 million, and I think this was one of those things where I wanted to be as big as I could possibly be. I wanted to do something even bigger than the $1 million prize. So I was like, I want some shoes that cost $1 million. And after I had them designed by Jason of Beverly Hills, and they were Tom Ford shoes. And by the time it took over a year to design them, and they ended up being $2.2 million. It was $1 million on each foot.
Who paid for them?
Me. I'm still paying for them. My thing is, what I tried to do, because ultimately I didn't want it to be so gaudy, I was gonna auction them off and donate all of the proceeds to Children's Hospital. And we've had like 3 bidders so far, and the jeweler's gonna redesign on a brand new shoe.
Jewelry all over the shoes?
Diamonds all around the shoe. I keep them in a safe. I only bring them out. I gotta have security when I bring them out.
Does Tom Ford design them?
He designed the ultimate shoe, and then Jason did the diamonds on the top of Jason of Beverly Hills. Yeah.
Did you wear them on?
I wore them on 2 finales of America's Got Talent, and I wear them on The Masked Singer as well. I wore them when I hosted one of the MTV Awards. I bring them out on special occasions. I'll bring them next time I'm here.
Okay, were they comfortable?
No. They weigh about like 7 pounds each.
Finally, Nick Cannon in 10 years.
Ooh, hopefully it's Dr. Cannon.
Oh yeah, from Howard.
Howard, yeah.
After the break, my conversation with Nick Cannon continues. Stay with us on this edition of Larry King Now. We're back with the wonderfully talented Nick Cannon, one of the good guys.
Thank you.
And we have some questions from social media. Alicia Hornboom on the Larry King Now blog. Do you still watch America's Got Talent? And what do you think of Tyra Banks as the host?
I have not seen it. I've seen clips, but I have yet to see an entire episode. No reason, just because I'm so busy, but...
Why did you leave it?
It was the thing, it was many things. Not to go into the story once again, because it's been told over and over again, but I was doing a stand-up special. I had my stand-up special on Showtime, and I said some choice jokes about NBC and what NBC stood for, and they
dropped you?
And no, they threatened to drop me. They said they didn't like the content. They thought I was disparaging the name, and I said, you know what? You're not gonna threaten me. I quit, because they wanted me to change my comedy act on another network, and I was like, absolutely not.
At Melion55 on Twitter, do you miss America's Got Talent, and would you ever consider going back?
I do miss America's Got Talent. I doubt I would ever go back, just because, I'm a man of principles and character, but I miss the contestants, and I miss my cast members, from Simon and Howie and Heidi and Mel. They were awesome. And to answer the other question, I believe Tyra is amazing. I think that was probably the best replacement. That was a very chess move of NBC.
Even though you don't watch it.
I mean, but that's just because I didn't watch it when I was on it. Like, I didn't have time to watch it.
Alicia asks, how did the movie Drumline affect your career?
Drumline was pivotal in my career, in that sense of, one, a lot of people don't know, Will Smith actually assisted me and helped me get that role.
Really?
Yeah, he was always a mentor and big brother. And I remember there was another actor that was up for the role that was working with Disney, and had some high-powered calls that were going in to Fox, the studio at the time. And my agent was like, is there anybody that you could call? And Will did Independence Day with Fox, and he picked up the phone for me and was like, yo, this kid, Nick Cannon, is the truth. This is who you want to star in your movie. And
I love Will Smith.
Probably the best.
One of the good guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nancy Sands on the Larry King Now blog. Do you still do stand-up, and does that remain your first love?
Stand-up will always be my first love, and I absolutely do stand-up. We're doing it every night on the tour. You know, that's the thing. It's myself and some of the young stand-ups from the Wild 'N Out tour. And I feel like, you know, in that same energy that the Kings of Comedy had, or even the Def Comedy Jam, that's what we're bringing to the live arenas when we go to each and every city. And it keeps me on my toes. I mean, improv is what we do with the games that we play on Wild 'N Out, but to be able to get out there and tell jokes in front of 10,000 people every night is a beautiful thing. Nothing like it.
Stephen McCullough on the Larry King Now blog. You put out an album at the beginning of the summer. Can we expect to see more new music?
Yeah, that actually, everybody calls it, I guess today you can't really define what an album was. That was more like a mixtape or like an appetizer for my actual album that's coming in a few months. That's what, it was actually called Calling All Models, the prequel, because the album is actually called Model Music. So again, like, you know, my guilty pleasure of women in models.
You like singing too?
I love it. I love that's it. It's singing to women especially, Larry. But that's kind of that's my safe place. I get to emote there.
At Razy Romano on Twitter, could we ever see Wild 'N Out expand overseas, maybe to Africa?
That we're working on that as we speak. I mean, we've taken it. Yeah, we've taken it to the UK a few times, but Africa is definitely my goal, and expanding all the verticals. Now we've opened up a Wild 'N Out sports bar and arcade on South Beach in Miami. The next one is going to be in San Diego, my hometown, and then LA. So we're doing that all this year. We have the tour, the board game. So I'm trying to take the verticals and just capitalize on all of this Wild 'N Out money.
You're an amazing guy. And The Masked Singer is going to be a big hit.
Thank you. From your mouth to God's ears, sir.
Nick, great seeing you.
Good to see you, too.
Big thanks to my guest, Nick Cannon. Be sure to see his Wild 'N Out tour coming to a city near you. Also tune in to the premiere of Wild 'N Out August 17th on MTV. Always great seeing him, Nick Cannon. That's it for this edition of Larry King Now, and I'll see you next time.